this is another one of our fabulous last-minute webcasts. On Wednesday, when we did a very brief booth tour, we passed by the Wizardry booth, and almost immediately people started sending messages. Hey, whoa, Wizardry! We want to hear some more about that too. And this is from our existing player base. So especially for you, we have a few minutes to spend with some guys from Wizardry. I'm Linda Carlson, Director of Global Community Relations for Sony Online, and joining me today is Keishi Iwahara from Gamepot. They are the developers of Wizardry, and our fabulous translator, Daniel, and I'm going to have you say your last name.
Szkoropad.
There you go. If you can get that right, that's a tongue twister for us. So we're very happy to be talking about Wizardry. This is a game that was developed in Japan by Gamepot, Iwahara's company, and they're going to be porting it over here to North America, and we're going to be publishing it. So the first thing that people were asking was, is this based on the 80s Wizardry franchise? They were pretty excited about that. What can you tell us about that?
これは昔の80年代のウィザードリーシリーズに基づいて、やってます。どういう関係になってますか？
昔のウィザードリーとは、違うウィザードリーです。ただ昔のウィザードリーの世界観をいろいろ踏襲しています。
Okay, so the first thing we wanted to say is that this is different from the original Wizardry series, but we've brought in a lot of the elements that make Wizardry Wizardry.
Ah, very good. Yes, because that was a very long time ago, so in some ways this game has almost been 30 years in the making. It's similar to how we have EverQuest, and then EverQuest 2 is a completely different game, and the next version of EverQuest is going to be different altogether. But there are always some elements that go in between those. So can you tell us a little bit about the game, the races and classes that will be involved?
じゃあ、ゲームについて、レースとクラスについてもう少し話してお願いできますか？
はい、レースは、ヒューマン、エルフ、ノーム、ドワーフ、あとホビットっていうのがいましたけど、ホビットは使えなかったので、ホークの名前にして入れています。
Okay, so the races that are included in the game are humans, elves, dwarves, gnomes, and then originally there were hobbits in the original Wizardry series, so of course we can't use hobbits, so it's portals.
Ah, okay.
あとクラスが今はファイター、メイジ、プリースト、シーフがいます。これからまた、拡張して新しいクラスが入る予定があります。
Okay, and he just mentioned about the classes. Right now we have fighters, mages, thieves, priests currently implemented, and we're planning on adding more in the future.
Oh, that's terrific. So that'll provide a broad range of races and classes that everyone's already familiar with. So the next thing we want to know is, and this has been a subject of a lot of debate, for years people have been looking for a game in which permadeath is an extra challenge, and we understand that Wizardry offers this challenge. So how scary is it to play this game with permadeath in it?
昔からパーマデスというロスト、キャラクターロストということは、昔から期待されてるんですね。で、ウィズリーをプレイして、そのキャラクターロスということが発生することによって、結構緊張感がありますか？
すごいあると思います。ただ、キャラクターがロストしても、アカウント自体にソウルランクというレベルがついているので、ロストしてもそこで悲観することはないです。
So you just mentioned that, of course, it's a big amount of pressure on the players to play with permadeath involved. However, we also have a certain amount of character data stored on the character accounts.
Right.
That's carried on to your next character. So that is a big help to players playing. That kind of mitigates the strain of losing your character.
And also I hear that there are items that you can obtain to help mitigate the problems of permadeath. Like, was there some sort of a percentage chance that you could obtain that would help you with this?
そのアイテムを使ってパーマデス、キャラクターロスにならない方法とかあるって聞いてましたけども、それについても少しその確率とかバランスについてもう少し話しましょうか。
まず死んだら、魂の天秤が出ます。でその魂の天秤にアイテムやお金を捧げることによって、蘇生率を上げることができます。それによって、ロストを回避することができます。
So when you die, the first thing that happens is the soul balance pops up, and you're given a certain percentage of your chances of recovery.
Yes.
If your recovery rate is below 100%, you have a chance to lose your character, but you can also offer items, such as items you find in dungeons, including armor and weapons, as well as gold. There's also cash items you can put on the balance to improve your rates of recovery, so that you don't lose your character.
That's actually a very interesting way to address things like inflation in games when people have too many items, if you have to use them. So the next thing is this game mostly PvE or PvP?
このゲームの、目的は PvE それとも PvP？PvE
です。ただ、要素として他の冒険者もモンスターと変わらないぐらい危険だということで PvP もできるようになっています。
So our main focus is on PvP, PvE, but PvE is also a major aspect of the game. Because you can PvP anywhere in game, other characters are just as dangerous as monsters in the game. So.
Right. Yes. Very scary. So, what were some of the issues that you encountered? What were the biggest challenges of bringing this game over from Japan to North America?
日本から北アメリカに持っていくには一番チャレンジングなところは何でしょうか？
まずアメリカで生まれたウィザードリーを日本でだいぶいろいろと派生していった。それをもう一度アメリカに持って帰ってくるってことは我々にとってはすごい興奮することであり挑戦である。
So probably the biggest challenge and the most interesting aspect of it is that Wizardry originally started in North America, and so we brought that over to Japan, and it's had some success in Japan as well.
Yeah, so I hear.
As the single-player series as well.
Right.
So there's all these elements that have built up over time, and then we're bringing it back to America. So it's kind of an interesting process, this reverse importing of the game.
And this will be fully localized when it launches in North America?
完全にローカライズしますかI'm kind of in
You'll
charge
be
of
handling that. Okay, good.
Yeah, we'll be completely localizing the game. It'll be completely in English, of course. And yeah, so we're actually discussing what elements we're going to change and what elements we're going to keep the same for the North American.
And will we be playing directly with people from Japan, or are the servers going to be separate in North America?
日本と同じサーバーで戦おうか。それとも違うサーバーで戦おうか。
違うサーバーでします。
Okay, so it'll actually be a different server from Japan and America.
Okay, yeah, we often do that in our games as well. So now I'm wondering if you can give us a bit of a look at the characters. And you can just face the screen for this, that's fine. We'd just like to hear about the character style and what sort of art direction you have in the game and so on. It looks like quite a dark and menacing type game. So.
じゃあこれからは、もう少しキャラについて、見せていただきたいですね。でどういうスタイルになってるか、結構暗くて何か危険な香りがしそうなゲームになるので、まあちょっと見せていただけませんか。で、それは画面そのまま向いてて大丈夫です。画面向いてて大丈夫。
Okay, and we'll bring the camera in so that we can see some of these characters. Is it possible to see the fronts of the characters?
キャラの、正面も見せていただけますか。Okay.
Oh, that is so cute.
これはノームという種で、これは女性しかいません。ドワーフは男性だけ、ノームは女性だけという感じで今回はやっています。
Okay, so this character is part of the gnome race.
Right.
There's only female gnomes at this point. So there's only female gnomes and then only male dwarves currently implemented in the game.
Right, okay.
And the gnomes have these horns that come out of their heads.
Oh, nice.
こっちにいるこれはヒューマンの女性。
On the left-hand side is a female human.
Okay.
他のクラスも見せた方がいい。
Would you like to see the other classes?
Oh, would love to. Yes.
Okay.
With our listeners at home who like to play these games, character creation is very, very important to them. So they would love to see more of the classes and races, I'm sure, including me.
プレイヤーにとっては結構、そのキャラ作成についてすごく重視していますので、いろんなことが見えてすごく楽しみです。
これはドワーフ。
Okay. So on the left-hand side, this is a dwarf.
All right.
でこれはもともとホビットだったポーク。
Okay. And on the right-hand side, we have the porkles, which, as I mentioned earlier, used to be hobbits. So.
Right. Now they're even smaller than the gnomes. And what is their background? Do they come from the same sort of hobbity type background, or?
他のキャラクターを紹介すると少し惜しかった。
ポルクについてなんですけれども、結構他のクラスとは違うんですけれども、それはどういう背景でそのポークという種族が出てきました。ホビットみたいな感じで。
まず、小さいシェイプに適した種族が欲しかった。で、ホビットの名前が使えなかったので、完全にオリジナルにしました。で、この種族の特徴は、この額にある宝石、これが感情を表して設定ではゲームの中では再現しないんですけど、青いと悲しみ、赤いと怒ってるっていうのが表現しているキャラクターです。
So what he was mentioning is that we originally wanted a thief class, class that's designed for thieves. And so we made this class actually, or this race, originally just for Wizardry Online. As you can see, the main feature of these characters is the small gem at the top of their forehead.
Yes.
This actually indicates their emotions. So it actually turns red when they're angry, and it's blue when they're normal, I believe.
Okay, that is really cool.
So.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, so this is an elf. It's kind of your standard MMORPG style elf.
Right, which you have to have in all these games. It's usually one of the most popular races.
Yeah, exactly.
10番はまあ一番標準的なキャラクターです。
And this is your basic kind of human character, just your.
Very nice.
And this is the basic defaults when they start up.
Okay. Now, is there a lot of customization for the character appearance as well? There must be, because this is not the same beard that I saw on the earlier dwarf. So.
結構カスタマイズできる要素はありますか？
まず外見は顔のパターンが今はABCD5 個。
Okay, so there are currently about 5 different designs for character faces.
Okay. And I couldn't help but notice the bonus points that came up. So are we actually allotting all of their statistics ourselves to start with, and then you get the bonus points to spend where you like?
最初の画面に出てくるボーナスポイントについてなんですけれども、それで、結局すべてのボーナスポイントを配布することになっていますか？
はい。
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Terrific. That's going to be an extra challenge. I like that.
段階で何度でもチャレンジできるけども、そのボーナスポイントがあなたのキャラクターの運になります。
Okay, so what he was just saying is that the initial screen that pops up, you can try it any number of times, but it's allotted randomly, so it's basically your luck is what it's based on, and the values range from a quite wide variety of values.
Okay. So then the next thing, how long has this game been out in Japan? It's been at least a year, I think, yes?
日本のリリースからどのぐらい経ってますか？
日本は10月の15日、10月にリリースしたので、今6月、8ヶ月。
So it was originally released in Japan in October, so it's only been about 8 months.
Okay. All right. So now the next thing people want to know is, will you have a beta period here, and when do you plan to launch?
アメリカ北米でもベータという期間はありますか？いつぐらい出しますか？
年内にはベータの予定になっています。
So right now we don't have anything solid, but we're hoping for a beta within the year.
Wow, terrific. Okay, I think you're going to get a lot of support from our players on this game.
彼がうまく了解すればもっと早くできると思います。
Please just saying, if I localize it
fast enough,
fast enough, it'll do well. So
okay, folks. So it's all on Kevin to get this game to you. We'll get his cell phone later so that you can call him directly if he's not moving fast enough for us. And thank you very much, Keishi, for showing us this game. We're very excited about this. Thank you, Kevin. Very much appreciated. And you guys, now you know a little bit more about Wizardry, and so do we. See you later.
Sony.